Welcome to Thursday Night Knives. I'm Bob DeMarco. Welcome to a show that almost didn't happen. Something is going crazy with my computer, and well, here we are. That's always how it is in production. It's always before you're about a prompter going here. I can see something already happening. Let's see. Do we still have anything? Anything at all? There we go. I think it's all gonna catch up. Anyway, how's it going with you all? Shaky start here, but you know what? That's all right. That's how we do it. You are watching Thursday Night Knives. And on this evening, I want to talk to you about, or I want to find out from you about ground fog. Good to have you here, sir. About your favorite outdoor knife shapes. This old sword blade reviews. How's it going, sir? Evening, junkies. Bob, great interview with Lynn. Thank you so much. A crowning achievement for me, no doubt. Thank you, Dave. Byron Kennedy. Hello, Bob, Jim, junkies. August 2023 and Thursday Night Knives. Indeed, the greatest month of all months. Yes. I'm not sure what it is. Aberdeen Blades. Hello, early junkies, he says. Hello, Aberdeen. Good to have you here with us. Good, sir. So interviewing Lynn Thompson was awesome. It was a lot of fun. I'm glad people enjoyed it. I feel like he opened up and I heard him say a lot of stuff I've never heard him say before. So it was a lot of fun. Weston Probst, good to have you here with us. Weston. Now, the reason I want to ask you all about outdoor blade shapes, I don't know much about, not too outdoorsy, but I got a couple of new Kephardts from Off Grid Knives. We're going to take a look at those. Those are called the Ridgeback, and they used to be in Scandi ground exclusively, and now they're in full flat ground. So they are really cool, really slicey, very spear point. You know what I mean? Very even on the top and the bottom, and looks they are pretty awesome. Honestly, haven't used them yet. I got them a couple of days ago, so we're gonna look at those, and we're gonna look at the Grizzly V2. Another V2 from Off Grid Knives. They're constantly V2ing, if you will, doing improvement versions, and I love that. That's companies who do that and remain nimble seem to do pretty well. Matthew, good to have you here, sir. Hello, everyone. He says, hello to you, sir. A therapeutic edge. Great to have you here. Greetings, hooligans. He says, greetings to you. Have a nice day. Good evening, junkalos. He says, well, good evening. I almost had almost wore it, but it was a little funky from a day of wearing it. So I took off my Have a Knife Day t-shirt with the big Western buoy on it. Joseph S., nice to have you here, Joseph. I got two new cold steels kind of in it to honor my white whale interview with Lynn Thompson. And I'm going to show one of those off in just a second. Blade Ogre, good to see you here, sir. Hello, all, he says. Blade Ogre always carries 9 to 10 blades. I know 9 to 10, there's no range, but I mean, sometimes it's 9 and sometimes it's 10. Have a Knife Day says, smash that like button or that thumbs up. Thank you. I agree. Please do. And also, please watch Have a Knife Day's channel. He's got a great channel with, he's been just going through tons and tons of different short interviews with knife maker after knife maker at Blade Show. Really, really great coverage, if you will. And also, Therapeutic Edge was here. He's been putting up a lot of videos that alongside of his knife videos are pretty inspirational. So definitely check out him. His shorts are awesome. Sharp and Stabby, great to have you here. All aboard, Bob. Good to have you here, Sharp and Stabby. Good evening, everyone, he says. Matthew, fantastic interview. Why, thank you, Matthew. I appreciate that. Loyal Group, how's it going, sir? He's a recent winner of a knife. I'm trying to remember what knife it was now. What was that? That was a Sativian, right? Mr. Group. Delicious hot coffee. Chris Corliss says, first time making it. Oh, great to have you. Joining while walking my dog, carrying an auxiliary manufacturing, Carl Jr. Very nice. I have an auxiliary manufacturing pocket rocket 3-inch dagger out on the table tonight. One of my Blade Show purchases. I love this knife. You'll hear of me or see me carrying it a lot. That faceted handle, it's octagonal, but it has these scoops on 4 sides. Oh man, it just locks into the hand. It looks like it should maybe not be as comfortable as it is, but I have found as I've gotten older, a lot of angular handles actually feel good. They don't have to have Emerson ergonomics to actually be ergonomic and feel really great in hand. Christopher, great to have you here. Christopher Stidham. Is it Stidham or Stidham? Good evening, everyone. He says, let's start the weekend. A very good point, Christopher. It is a Thursday night, and Thursday night is the start of the weekend. And, Friday, Saturday, that's Bridge and Tunnel. This is for the real, for the real weekenders. Whatever. Shut up. And just tell us, what was it that you were carrying in your pocket? I think it's time for a pocket check. One I have not carried in some time today in my front right pocket was the Resco Instruments Goose Blade Works Mekong Delta combat folder. I'm just going to call it this one. I love this one, the MDCF. I'll just call it the Resco. This is the one that I thought was an American made. I thought this was a barefoot Navy SEAL frogman in his garage making these in North Carolina somewhere. I know that Resco Instruments, the watch company, that is the umbrella company above the Gooseworks knife company. They are former frogmen, Navy SEAL types, but they do not make these knives. These are Best Tech made, and man alive, can Best Tech make a knife on washers that feels like it was made by a barefoot Navy SEAL in his garage. It's got a really awesome feel, kind of like an American feel. This was brought up by NAF Sergeant. Well, you know him now as Luck Knives, but Mike was talking about this when it first came out, and then revealed later some more information about it. But just a great knife. I love it, and just proving again, Best Tech is really lives up to the name, Best Tech. They really make awesome knives. OEM or under their own shingle or what have you, they're awesome. All right, next up, in my pocket today, I had bang right into the mic. Sorry about that. If anyone's wearing headphones, I suppose you on your walk. That must have hurt. Sorry. Okay, so laid back jack is my slip joint today. Summertime, I don't always carry a slip joint, but frequently to work I do, because I'm always wearing pants, always got pants on. So pants, more pocket room, more structure for more knives. And today I had the laid back jack. Love this knife. It's a sway back, kind of perfected, a little less curvy on the handle, super straight on the edge, and just a beautiful execution. Again, from some mystery OEM, who knows where this is made, but it's awesome. I don't know where it's made, but whoever it is does a great job. And who knows, it might be some Taiwanese manufacturer whose name we don't know, like a lot of the companies who make, like, say, cold steel knives and we don't really know those manufacturers' names oftentimes, but they do make incredible knives. Nick EDC, good to have you here, sir. Hey, Bob, Jim, and junkies alike. Well, hey to you. And James Moore, how are you, sir? Hello, all, he says. Man, never enough knives, 007. Hey, junkies. Happy best night of the week. I couldn't agree more. I love Thursday. Loyal Group says that Sativian has been riding in my pocket on the regular. Oh, I'm great. I'm glad to hear that. That thing was super smooth. And I like the middle finger flick on that. I'm too old to be a fidget guy, he says, but that Sativian definitely fits the bill. Yeah, I would agree with you. Even if you're not, you can recognize how smoothly it opens and closes. It's like when I got my first knife on bearings, which was the SOCOM Elite. I didn't even know that people did such a thing, and I was like, man, this is so smooth, it's almost too smooth. And then I realized, oh, well, it's smooth on purpose. It's on bearings. All right, this one right here is the Night Stalker. Can't get enough of this knife. I probably carry it even more than the Pikal version of this, the MR1, but that's kind of up in the air. The MR1. You have the same thing here, just sharpened on the other side and beveled on the other side. Um, it is good to probably carry them in spells. You probably don't want to go one day with a Bacall and one day with a regular and then go back and forth. You might confuse which is which on which day because they feel the same because the handles are the same. Now, for a short period of time on this, I had a little bit of gaffer's tape wrapped around the ring on the Pikal one. And I was like, well, I can always tell just by feeling it. But then when I would spin it, do some of that ring stuff, it really hurt the hand and sort of disrupted the motion. So I'm guessing best to just know, well, this week I'm carrying the Pikal one. This week I'm carrying the regular. The regular, by the way, just a great utility blade. Also would make an excellent weapon. Draws very easily with the rings. I haven't always been a huge fan of ring knives, but these are really well aligned in the fists and stuff. One thing I do must say for the Pikal is that uh, if you carry it up front, like I do, horizontally on my belt right up front, you are going to want to be careful about your belly if you have one. How you draw it, if you're seated, if your belly hangs over you just want to be careful because that edge is pointed up. So just know that, and not only with that, but with other knives like the clinch pick and such, other Pikal style things. You might accidentally swipe that across the bottom of your belly. My God, that would hurt like hell, and probably much worse. Yep. So this one, by the way, I just have to show off that I love it. You can send him your logo, and he will emblazon it on your blade. Come on. So yeah, there you go. You're like, yeah, we know what it looks like. You don't have to like. All right, so there that is. And then for emotional support, my emotional support knife today was the Watuga or Watuwaga. I don't know how you pronounce it, but that's the Sen cut. I really am impressed with Sen cut knives and Civivi in general, and of course but I don't think I have any Wiis at this point. I have one Wii made. I have a couple of Wii made OEM knives, like Off Grid Scorpion when he was having them made with Wii, and a couple of others. And they make awesome knives. I just don't find myself buying Wii knives. However, I would like to find myself buying the Wii Cogent Proponent. I don't know which one it is. It's a clip point blade with a nice long fuller, and I've been seeing it a lot recently, and man, is that a beauty. All right, so I had this on me, much to the dismay of everyone within earshot, because I was flicking it a lot today, but mostly I was in a soundproof room, so all good. That's what I had on me today. Let me know what you had. Drop them in the comments below and let me know. I'm going to vacate this spot and put something else cool to look at, and show you something that I just got at long last, because I should have gotten this a long time ago before it was discontinued and then brought back. Aberdeen Blade says modded Rat 2 and Rosecraft French Broadjack. That is a nice looking knife, that Rosecraft French Broadjack. Excuse me. And how modified. I love the Spidey hole on the rats. I think it looks great. This old sword says, today's carry, the Microtech MSI Ramlock. That's a cool one. That's that big Warncliffe, or I guess that's a sheep's foot. The Ketuo Kamasu. Ketuo Kamasu. I don't know what that is, but Ketuo is the brand. CJRB large feldspar, beautiful. In fat carbon fiber tie and M390, very nice. Shield and folding scythe, that's awesome. That's tier one, tier one's design, made by Shielden. Very cool knife. The T-Kel Guardian, love T-Kel. That's a knife that that's a brand that Dave's videos got me to like. I remember when T-Kel first came out, I was kind of like, I'm not sure about this. And then I watched his Guardian video, as a matter of fact, and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. Dave's endorsement definitely got me interested. And the Olight Baton 3 Pro Max. I just got an Olight Baton 3, not Pro Max, for a neighborhood friend. And it was a lemon straight out the box. So I sent it back and lickety split, got the new one and haven't heard back. Weston Probe says today's carry was the Finch Halo in red and the CRKT CEO Flipper. Weston, if you so far, so close yet so far. Weston, if you like the CEO, definitely check out the Ocaso Solstice. You've seen it here a bunch, but the Solstice is designed by our good friend Andrew Demko. It is sweet, and Ocaso really kills it on the execution, and it's very CEO-esque. Hey, Casey. Pardon me, we have KC of Knives Fast and Tempest Knives. Oh, you know, Tempest Knives. He says, hey, Bob. Hey, y'all. Finch Flint and Jack Wolf Feel Good Jack for me today. The Flint, that's a nice one. That's, is that not their flipper gun stock, the Flint? Man, they just have so many cool models, a lot of models, and they're all cool. Nick EDCer says, carried the Best Tech Man Ronin at work. I love the look of that thing with the leaf-shaped blade and the crossbar lock. I was just watching Stasa's video about that a couple of weekends ago, and carried the Spyderco Andella in K390 after work. Vosteed Mayhem on the way. Very nice. The Spyderco Andella. Necessary or unnecessary? Obviously, you think it's necessary enough to own it, but when it came out, I was kind of like, really, like. But I guess it's a 3¼ inch blade, and that's what people love the most, isn't it? Christopher says Spyderco Techno 2 and Civivi Cubit. Civivi Cubit, unsure. Your first pronunciation was correct. Oh, Stidham. And Techno 2, these are both beautiful. The Techno 1 and the Techno 2, a redesign, obviously, of the first one, both by Marcin Slisz. I'm not sure. My Polish is a little rusty, though I find it a beautiful language, and the women quite beautiful. I used to live right near Greenpoint in Brooklyn, and lots of, it's a Polish immigrant neighborhood. And the men were big and intimidating, and the women were gorgeous. So you just learn to wear sunglasses and glance furtively. Blade Ogre says, carrying the ZT0308. You know what? I need to get one of those. I think they're awesome. I think that's one of the coolest ZTs in a long time, and I know that's a few years old at this point. But Sniper Blade Works LPC, the Sword Mini Peasant, the Buck 110 Sport, the Bear and Son Trapper in Zebra Wood. I'm interested in Bear and Son out of Alabama. You don't hear much about them, but they are an all-American company. I think they might do some Chinese stuff, but they make a lot of stuff right here in the States, including good Bowies. The 2010 Remington Bullet Copperhead, the Shed Knives Freedom, the ZT0640, and the Sleazy Ogre. So 9 knives on you today. That 0640, a big fan. Shed Knives, big fan. Remington Bullet, I love those, the old ones. Who made this re-release? I know that on a lot of these Bullet re-releases, like they had Queen Cutlery do it once, and I think GEC did it. I know they did their version of the bullet. But anyway, Loyal Group says outdoor blades. I've been beating on my Tops 107E for years. Oh, is that yes? Okay, that's the big Tonto, right? The Eagle, is that the Steel Eagle, the 107? Brady Fisher, nice to have you here, Brady. In a non-permissive permissive environment, I carried my reground Spidey Chef in my CRK pockets lift. Nice. And my Les George Galvo. Oh, that's the dagger in OD green, checkered appendix and leather sheath. Ooh, nice, in leather sheath. I like that. You usually think of Kydex in appendix, but man, leather. You know how it warms up and warms into you and takes your shape. Will B says, hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Will, it's always a pleasure, sir. Good to have you here. I had the Riot Horizon C. That's a nice knife. I had the C. That's the bigger one than the D. I know the D came out a little bit later and they got real fancy with it, but I love the C. The Wee Ziphius, a beautiful knife. The Benchmade Rift, the Bestech Shodan, the Kubi Nova Titanium. That's a nice looking one with that milling that Casey was showing off last week on his show. The Axial or on this show when he was on it, the Axial Shift Spyderco Ronin 2, Riot Exo. And the Olight Baton, Arkfeld UV, and the Wee Baculus pen. Baculus, like Scott Baculus. Let's see. Spyderco, so 8 knives on you today. I love it. I love it. That Arkfeld too. I'm digging this. And you know what the best thing is the laser, because I love lasers. They're just so cool to play with. And my dog behaves just like a cat with this laser. He's like a big German Shepherdy dog, but he gets very cat-like in the presence of that green laser. Matthew says, Spyderco Schmuck, I was about to say, Smock, and the Gerber Gator. Gerber Gator is a classic with that big, old, round handle. Love that. And the Smock has really cool action. That's the one where Mr. Smock, I can't remember his first name now, but had the idea to make sort of a button lock, but using the compression lock on the back. Joseph S. says, Cold Steel Verdict Clip Point. Very nice. The Mini Tack Bowie, I love that one. Came razor sharp. The Stockman and the leather rebar. Stockman. I mean, which is it just the Cold Steel? Because I think they do a Stockman now. And the Leatherman rebar. Mini Tack, Tonto, Serrated, and Trapper should be arriving tomorrow. Very nice. Okay, so that is, I am betting you mean the Stockman. Speaking of Cold Steel, let me show you this beauty. Weston says, yeah, that Ocaso Solstice looks awesome and so classy. And they have a couple of versions of it. I got to say, the carbon fiber is so light, but sturdy as hell. I gave my dad one. He really liked them. And then the titanium, they're built like tanks, but they're so small and light. They're awesome. Justin Music, good to have you here, Justin. Hey, Bobo, Real Steel, Sidious Blackout, Sidious, Rough Rider Tortoiseshell Texas Toothpick. That sounds nice, Justin. That's funny. I was in a band, and that's what they used to call me, either Baba or Bobo. So this is what I just got. This is the Cold Steel Talwar XL. It took me about a decade because they came and they went. They first came in OS 8, and then they went through the whole transition to XHP, and then to S35, and then they phased them out. And then when GSM bought them, they asked which models they wanted to bring back. This was overwhelmingly requested, as was the 4-inch, which they are just now going to be coming out with, like in the next few weeks. And I'm very, very happy they brought this back because it is awesome. It is a great knife. I remember staying at my brother's house and being in the guest room. And this was, I don't know, 2 summers ago or so. And this was on the bedstand because he, like I, has blades kind of dispersed throughout the house at handy spots. And I picked it up and I was like, man, what did I miss out on? This thing is awesome. And now I have one in S35 and his is still in OSWA 8. So what do you think of that? And I got the serrations. Love the serrations. This thing is incroyable, as my French brothers would say. I love this thing. So very, very happy to have this in the collection finally. And it's bittersweet because I just did my folder collection video and that will not appear in it, but it will appear in the next one. How's that sound? So yeah, cold steel Talwar XL serrated. Have a Knife Day says, I've been carrying my Mark McCoon combat sax. That is a beaut, which is the size of a K-bar. Yeah, check out the video on that. I like the way the front edge of that sax is sharp. It's very cool. Have a Knife Day says, also the Spartan Blades Poros. Yeah, that's a beauty that I have not gotten yet, but that's one I would definitely like to get. Now that I know for sure that the hollow ground micarta version of this thing is sold out. Blade Ogre says GEC. Okay, which GEC? Come on, Camillus. What? Oh! I'm sorry. Jeez. You already did your pocket check. You are answering my question. GEC, Camillus, Buck, and Baron's Son all made Remington bullet knives. The 2010 Copperhead was made by Baron's Son. Okay, cool. So I have experienced a Baron's Son Bowie, and I think it's awesome. We have Luck Knives with us. Speak of the devil. Nice to have you here, sir. Great looking shop. He just moved his operation and moved house and state and base and has a new setup and it looks awesome. Congratulations. I know you're still acquiring tools, but that's awesome. Nicely done. Addicted to Knives. Good to have you here, sir. The Concept Delta and the SE3. Which one is the? Oh, I know which one the Delta is. That's a cool one. That's the one with the right with the extra long fuller or the reversed, not fuller, but the extra long bolster. Is that right? Sharp and Stabby says, happy to finally have a ZT452 in pocket and the trusty Hogtooth Ruffian on my hip, says Sharp and Stabby. A man of impeccable taste. I will hold mine before the camera, before the knife cam. What color is your handle? I'm curious. Let me know. Love this thing. I will put that down there just for look at the size difference. Yeah, that's a 5-inch blade here, right? It's a 5-inch blade. I think this is. That's 5.5. So this is about 4 3/4. This old source says, I think that Talwar is gonna hold an edge. Yeah, I think so too. I did already slay a paper towel tube tonight, so I might have to touch up the serrations. Brady Fisher says, close that Talwar XL on a hot dog. Those things close. Yeah, this one too. Interesting with this one here. I have my finger way up there, but this one is a very easy one to undo. Very easy compared to a lot of the large cold steels that I have or when I first got them. The best color, green on the Ruffian. Yeah, green looks great on the Tonto also. Really nice. And I believe green will be the handle on the twos whenever we end up doing those, the Nova 2s in the future. Got to get the Nova 1s out first. Join the conversation. Oh, that's right. If you want to come on and just talk, do that. Come on. TheKnifeJunkie.com/join. Aim the camera at you and we can chit chat. What do you say? So I was asking about paper towel. Paper towel. Yeah, indeed, man. All right. So first I want to show off. Okay. First I have some pretty fly for a knife guy. Good to have you here. Sup, homies, he says. Sup with you. I'm going to put away this beautiful Hogtooth Knives Ruffian, which also looks good in green. And I'm going to get this nice daddy out the way. I love that thing. But here you go. Okay, so you remember the Grizzly, and then we talked about the Grizzly 2, which just came out. This one is the one I am adopting. That is the Grizzly 2, full flat ground, 14C28N instead of AUS 8. The old ones are AUS 8, and I don't want to say saber grind. I'll say high flat grind. It's the same steel, like stock thickness. This has longer jimping and is just more kitchen like with that full flat grind. Um, this, by the way, is no slouch in the kitchen. This is our travel kitchen knife, or has been. I don't know. Uh, this one's probably gonna usurp this. This one's thrown. This is much heavier. The old one feels heavier anyway, and the handle here is smaller, thinner, like more contoured, and just a little bit more comfortable. But both are incredible knives. I wanted to show off the other versions of this V2. Yep. So yeah, just in getting this and then the Razorback, which is a Kephart, I was curious about the uses. Now I know this one here is way more. This is a kitchen knife, and they actually say this is a camp kitchen knife, not meant for woodcraft. But I think that's just a you can do some light stuff with this, but you wouldn't want to baton it. I don't think it's pretty thin. Look at that. These are pretty sweet. I like these things. Jay McConnell, good to have you here, Jay. He says, evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Today I had an XM18 skinny harpoon Sponto, blue anno with Mexican blanket G-Carta scale. That sounds gorgeous. And a GEC number 47 Harvester in jigged natural micarta. Oh, that sounds cool. Harvester. That was one of the Farm and Fields, right? Am I right? Was that one of the Farm and Field knives? But the jigged, I don't remember the jigged micarta. Love that detail though. Chris Corliss, good to have you here. Chris, after exclusively owning folders for years, Mummert and DCC clips have converted me to carrying a fixed blade in my front right pocket. Chris, I love it. I think that is awesome. I love this trend of more and more people carrying whatever style fixed blade they like. They are great. I do must say though, get a fixed blade that you're not planning on carrying. Get a fixed blade just for around the house. Think of it like the ultimate tool for out back, but also a hearth knife, a self-defense knife, a do everything knife, like the old school sort of medieval messer, which was much bigger. But you should get a big fixed blade. K-bar doesn't, doesn't have to be something super expensive, but something capable and large, and have that be your large fixed blade, and then carry on with the carry up front. I love that. The pocket carry, I have not, I don't want to say mastered that. I carry it in the waistband or on the belt horizontally, but I did get this from my father as a gift, and it's this is the Bill Rapier designed Amtac Blades Northman, and it's meant to be a sort of do-all weapon slash front pocket survival knife. It's got a little ferro rod here, and it's got a little Velcro pocket here to hide handcuff keys and $100 bills and what have you, and just fits right in your front pocket. That's a discreet carry concepts clip, and this sheath is ambidextrous. It's prohibitively expensive. It's kind of like I said, it was a gift from my father who was going through a Jack Carr phase, and this knife was mentioned in one of Jack Carr's books, and my dad's like, "Hey, you want the Northman?" And I was like, yeah, I do. And so I got it. So I'm not necessarily recommending it, though I recommend it. It's awesome. But it's quite expensive. And some people wonder where it's made. And I think there's been radio silence about that, which leads me to believe, it's probably foreign made, but It's a great knife. It also comes in a large version. Why did I get off on this? Because you are carrying a knife in your front right pocket. I'm curious what knives you are carrying. Let me know. Loyal Group says, what's the brand on those cleavers? Now, these are off-grid knives. They're a new version of the Grizzly. There's the old version of the Grizzly, a camp kitchen knife, leaning more towards kitchen. You can see how relatively pretty thin it is. This is the old one. This is the new one, where they fully flat ground the blade and contoured the handle, thinned out the handle, and lightened it up a little bit, and turned it, made it from 14C28 and as opposed to AUS8. So off-grid knives, you can get them. These, I believe, you have to go right to the website right now. I could be mistaken about that, but off-grid knives, you can get them on Amazon, and you can get them on their website. And they make their knives with Best Tech knives, and they make their knives with a Taiwanese manufacturer whose name I don't know, but outstanding quality, really awesome knives. We also have a here's a well-timed plug. We have a what do you call it, link, an affiliate link. If you want to buy a knife with off-grid knives and help out the channel, you can do that. It's TheKnifeJunkie.com/offgrid, I believe. Javon, how's it going? Javon's Knife Flicks. This is first of all, you look like a Viking. I know you know that. You must know that, but you look like a wise Viking. And anyway, a fixie a day keeps the Slurpee stealers away. Oh, yes, indeed. I would agree with you. Especially something like this that you can tug out of your pocket and reverse grip whoosh, and right on the top of the hand to start. Just kidding. Of course. Sharp and Stabby says, at Chris Corliss, +1 on the Mummert clips. I love them. I don't have a Mummert clip. I have a bunch of DCC clips, and I have some of the Ulti clips, which are all right. They're okay. But I love the discreet carry clips the best. They are the best. Loyal Group says that Prather War Bowie is straight up sexy. I couldn't agree with you more, and I think I know what it is. Where did I put it? I think I know why. Oh my God, where did that go? It's funny how you can just, oh, here it is. It's because it has this extra long clip. That clip is, I mean, the whole thing is nice. And the setup with this is like sort of a French fighting knife handle here with the wider blade, and then the tapering handle that goes right up to the wider blade, creating a a guard that most certainly stops your hand from sliding up there, but also doesn't give you a top quillion to worry about. And let's face it, with the quillions, if you're going knife to knife somehow in a knife fight, and you're fighting like you're dueling with swords, I don't know, maybe that's how it happens, but that seems like a very old-fashioned way of fighting, and I don't think you need it. And I think a lot of people like this Filipino grip when they're using a knife, whether they're no matter what they're doing. So I'd rather have that jimping up there, and that long clip is amazing. And then right at the tip, it's a diamond, with that swedge. So nice. It'd be cool to have this with a sharpened swedge, but that's kind of what I think about all swedges. Somehow we got to figure out how to get a sharpened swedge into a folder. I think it'd be pretty easy if you could handle the wide-ish blade. And I'm just talking about the swedge. Fernando Salome, good to have you here, sir. Hello, everyone. On the road driving a semi. Wow. Okay, Fernando, you got to tell me, what's the weirdest thing that you've seen while driving on the nation's roads? I mean, you must cover a lot of ground. You must see a lot of stuff. What's the weirdest thing you've seen? Do tell. Todd Carr, good to have you here, Todd. Today's carry, Leatherman Surge, the Gerber Dime, Gerber Shard. That's a little tool that you put on your keys, right? The Swiss Army Knife SD Classic, a classic indeed. Cold Steel 8010. Mm. Kaiser Escort in 20 CV, designed by Dirk Pinkerton. The CJRB Pyrite 5th Pocket, very nice. The Papa Bear Knives Pocket Lucky Fixed Blade, and the Olight I1 IR2 and the 13T. I like the 13T. The Papa Bear Knives, I've been checking him out a lot recently. I dig his stuff. I'm assuming you like that knife, Todd. Let me know. Is that like a little Bowie fixie? Chris Corliss says, so far on my list of front pocket fixed blade knives, the auxiliary manufacturing Carl Jr., which I would love to get my hands on one of those, and 3 fixed blade models from Tom Crime. Well. The Recurve, the Tusk, and the Pocket Bowie, all riding in Kydex and Mummert or DCC. That's awesome, man. Yeah, right to the top with the Tom Crime. He makes some beautiful little pocket knives, especially his little pocket Bowies. And to say pocket knife is funny because it is a pocket knife. It's a pocket fixed blade, but you always think that it's a folder with the term pocket knife. So I'm going to put these off-grid knives. So we'll give one of these away. I'm not sure which one or when, but I know that I am taking this one. I am taking this in for testing and such. But otherwise, these grizzlies will be flying out of here at some point. So let me get these out of the way, and then I will show you the others in a second. Oh, those are really nice. Patina Turner, good to see you here, Patina. My vote for favorite outdoor blade shape, the Kephart. Okay, Patina, that is a perfect segue. Let's see, where's this go? I think I'm mixing these up, but it doesn't matter. They're all the same. Okay, so. All right. Okay. Well, at least I got one of them. Okay, so let me pick that up. Hang on one second. Okay. Speaking of Kephart, all right. So this is the Razorback, which was came out maybe a year and a half ago from Off Grid Knives, and it's a Kephart, right? That's a Kephart. And right, people. Also, the Double X Knives Skipper and Victorinox Walker in micarta scales. Very nice. But that sort of even on top, even on the bottom, long straight with a belly at the tip kind of shape. This is his Razorback 1, I guess, or just Razorback, done in 14C28N Sandvik steel, and this really nice blue, like very hard to see. It's sort of a blue, gray, and black micarta. Very nice. That was a special edition, but they just came out with a version 2, and depending on how you see things, it's an improvement. Now, it's definitely an improvement for certain things. I mean, this is fully flat ground, and it is pretty thin blade stock that comes to a really very thin edge. I mean, this is a very slicey blade. This one has all of the sharpness and robustness of a Scandi, but definitely not as slicey as this one. So you can definitely feel the weight difference too. This Scandi is much heavier because there's so much more steel on that blade. And I'm thinking that there's some weight relief in the handle on these that you might not have on this to balance that heavy blade, because it's balanced nicely right there at the finger choil, as is actually this is a little bit right back from the finger choil, but this is basically balanced in the same spot, which leads me to believe that this one has milling under those scales. I haven't taken them off yet. That this one probably doesn't have. Great sheaths too. They did a great improvement on the sheaths. You get a taco sheath on this one. Taco meaning it's a piece of Kydex or thermomold plastic that's like this, and made like a taco shell around the blade, as opposed to one that's like a pancake. Is that what they call these, pancakes sheaths? Where it's just two sides bolted together or grommeted together, which works great for retention. It's a awesome way to do it, but it's such a much like bigger and more awkward shape in terms of carry when you have all this extra kydex on the side. So I'm very happy to see them go with the taco sheaths on these new Kephardts. Off-grid knives, Ridgeback 2. That's what these are. The off-grid knives, Ridgeback 2. So I'm sorry, I went off. Oh, Kep McNessart, perfect man to speak to this. Sorry. Woo. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I am late, but I am here, carrying the LT Wright Next Gen, the Giant Mouse Atelier, and the Jack Wolf Knives Venom Jack today. Love that Venom Jack. Nice Warncliffe, big broad Warncliffe. We're talking about outdoor blade shapes, because I just got these Kephardts. Kephart knives, and this is the first time I've had this blade shape, and then I realized, well, sort of the first time, because I had this first version. Nessmuk shape for outdoors, says Luck Knives. So that's that's got the curved spine here, and it kind of comes up, and then it's got a long, deep belly, right? This one is kind of similar, but it's both, it's sort of straight. You got parallel spine and parallel edge. I am liking this full flat ground version in a way that that this Scandi version just didn't do it for me. But now that I've had this one, I like the Scandi one better. This one is also, wait, is this is D2. Okay, D2, and this is 14C28N. So probably a step down in steel for this one, especially considering 14C28N is a steel that was used on this kind of knife originally. I think that's why he used that. And I think that this was the first knife they did 14C on. And I think it was because of that edge there. The Scandi ground edge. Kep McNessart says, best outdoor blade shapes. Let me guess. The Kephart and the Nessmuk. Honorable mention, the Puko, the Bowie, and the Fillet. Interesting, the Fillet. I didn't think of that. Bowie for sure. The Puko, yeah. The Puko's cool. I should get a Nordic knife in here. Todd Carr says, the Pocket Lucky I have is a 4-inch handle, 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch wood handle with brass lanyard tube. Oh man, and a 3.25 S35 VN drop point blade, black scale finish in Kydex with the ulti clip for pocket carry. Amazing knife. That sounds beautiful, man. That sounds. I love that. I love small, great fixed blade knives. I got a lot of them here. I like talking about them and showing. Here, this one, for some reason, when you were talking about that one, this one came to mind. I'll show that in a second. Brand New American, good to have you here, Brand New American. Not just here on the show, but here in the country. Brand New American. Kephart is the best all-arounder. Good choice. It seems like it. It even seems like you could thrust with it if you had to. Byron Kennedy says, not sure how I feel about the Ridgeback in a flat grind, because the Scandi grind on the OG was one of my sharpest fixed blades. It was great for campfires and wood processing. Do you still have it, Byron? You're speaking in the past tense. I do really like it, but I think this might appeal. This might appeal to you. You know, all of their knives are wickedly sharp. This is just slightly less robust, I would imagine. All things being equal, though, probably you shouldn't be doing it with your knife if it's, if you got to worry about it. Dion Page says, carrying the same thing I've been carrying. My old, I got 3 old mother of pearl slip joints. Nice. All with half stops, and the smallest is the size of a dime. I also got a 1980 smooth rose bone Coke bottle X case double X. That sounds awesome. I like that Coke bottle shape, and it also gives room for a larger blade. So that because that pin is in that flare out, so that you can have a bigger blade fit tighter. Taco Thursdays says Chicago 23. Sorry. Says Chicago 23. Yes, indeed. Taco every day. As a matter of fact, KC of Knives Fast and Tempest Knives was here before. Not sure if he's still here, but he responds to texts that he likes instead of with a thumbs up with a taco. And I thought, oh my God, that says it all. Nomadic Adventures, good to have you here. Hello, fellow junkies, he says. Well, hello yourself. Good to have you as always. Dion Page, I also ordered a Cold Steel 6-inch holdout. That's a good one. Did you get it with the serrations, Dion? I'm starting to really love the serrations. I used to not have a very high opinion of them, but now it's just undeniable, especially on something like this where the blade is, don't get me wrong, I do understand that one of these without serrations is taco and pancakes. Tacos are greater than pancakes. Yeah, most of the time I would agree with you. The non-serrated version of this blade, no doubt, is a force to reckon with, especially given the angle at which that blade sits when you're holding it in this very ergonomic handle. But that upswept motion, that upswept nature of the blade does not trap material. So anything to help trap material, like all of those serrations, 5 little ones, 1 big one, 5 little ones, 1 big one, really accelerates the cutting. So I'm wondering if on that holdout, you got the serrations. Have a Knife Day says, you cannot skip the kukri when talking about outdoor knife shapes. I love it. My first kukri is from Cold Steel and has the word kindness layered into it. I've probably had it for 15 to 20 years. What do you mean it has the word kindness layered into it? Is that something that was like etched in, or is that in the steel somehow? Very interesting. Nomadic Adventure says, like that Coke bottle look. We talking knives, still face blue smiling. Yep. Yeah, no kidding. Yes, I agree, Nomadic. All day, every day. But just so that the wife doesn't lose her mind and the girls don't kill me in my sleep, gotta save it for the mat. And that's what I do here. Let me show you this other Cold Steel I got in commemoration of the Cold Steel interview. We also have one coming up next week with Stickman, the new guy at Cold Steel that we've seen in videos for a little over a year, or a little over 2 years now. And he's an interesting guy, I got to say. He was good to talk to. Nice guy, salt of the earth, self-made man type. And yeah, it was cool. It was a good one. But after one, I just got this. The Steel Tiger. Steel Tiger. Now, this is one I remember when it came out. Here, so this is a big karambit, if you haven't guessed. And I have the FGX version of it that was in my shower for years. So I'm very familiar with this karambit in particular and how it feels in the hand. And it feels great. Really does feel great. Now, I remember when this first came out, reading something that Lynn Thompson said. He came out with that to satisfy popular demand, but was not terrifically psyched about putting out a karambit, as he said that he thought that had very limited application. And the real application of them, besides in the old days harvesting sugar cane or whatever it was to kill people. And for that, it's you have to have some I guess skill. I don't know. He thought that it was kind of superfluous, or that there were better knives he could be making. But he folded to popular demand, and this thing is damn cool. I'm glad he did. And now it comes in all manner of color. You can get it in, well, not all manner of color. It comes in military type colors: black, olive drab, that sort of desert tan, and with black blades. So it looks pretty cool. I just opted for the old school, the huge, the black and silver. I think it looks pretty nice, but really, I just have it for my cold steel collection, and actually, I don't know what I'm going to do with it besides flip it around and hopefully not hurt anyone, including myself. So, anyone out there loving the karambit as an outdoor knife shape? Kep McNessart says, in the Kephart world, I consider the LT Wright knives Genesis to be the gold standard. There is a reason it has been on a loan multiple times. Okay. I have a flat ground and a Scandi. I prefer the flat ground version. LT Wright Genesis. LT Wright Genesis. I don't have any LT Wrights. So, Ketmuk, if I were to go out and get an LT Wright, is it the Genesis that I should get? I know that he has made. I get LT Wright confused with someone else sometimes, but let me know. Oh, Lon Humphrey. I get him mixed up with Lon Humphrey, who made a pretty cool fighting Bowie a couple of years ago. But anyway, which one should I get if I get an LT Wright? I also love the Canadian belt knife style of knife. So do I get something like that? Dion Page says, no serrations. It was the counterpoint that I ordered. It was going, I was going to buy the holdout eBay, but went to the counterpoint from Midway. The counterpoint is a cool one too. Now that's one that I got. That's one of the few knives I returned just because I was just like, I got the 4-inch counterpoint, and now I think I'd like it. Back then, I really wanted something thin, and that is not a thin knife, but I wouldn't mind giving that a second chance. Todd Carr says, I do like that cold steel serrations are standard on all of their knives, and that you can get sharpeners specific for sharpening them from Lansky. Yeah, that's right. The serration set for cold steel, you can get it with the 5 little grooves. Professor EDC, good to have you here, Professor. Bob, Jim, fellow junkies, brothers, hope everyone is doing well. We hope you're doing well, Professor. Sorry for being absent. Work has just been hectic. Love the interview with Lynn, Bob. Great job. Thank you, sir. And hey, man, as far as work goes, got to do what you got to do. We'll always be here, keeping the plate of food warm, or no, keeping the light on for you. 5 Door says, hey, first of all, good to have you here, 5 Door. Did Bob just say that karambit was in the shower for years? No, not this one. The FGX version of it. That is the plastic version of this knife. Was in my shower for years, and I always wanted to get the sharp steel live version of it, and finally did. Jock, hey, finally caught alive. Jock, your knife, your El Pionero, is on the wing. It's headed over there at long last. Thank you, and it's great to have you here. Thanks for loaning me that knife. That El Pionero that I was showing off, that was Jock's, and it's going over to him. That is a very cool knife. I would consider getting the swedge sharpened, or just doing it yourself. There's wouldn't just on a grinder would take 2 seconds. It's almost there. But a great knife. Anyway, great to have you here with us, Jock. As it is great to have you, Kevin Moore here. Good evening, Bob and Jim. Phelan sharp and pointy tonight. Phelan sharp and pointy tonight. Great to have you here, man. I hope you're adorned in Hawaiian fabric. Brady Fisher says that karambit is a bit large for modern military kit. I think I don't like karambits in general. Yeah, so Brady, I like karambits. Yeah, and this is definitely this is Yeah, I would agree with you. I think this is large for a karambit, period. I could be mistaken. I'm not a karambit expert, but I've done a little bit of karambit training in the midst of different other kind of training, and it seems like the smaller the better with a karambit if you're doing karambit techniques. But in any case, yeah, especially since discovering Pakal style knives, I'm way less into karambits than I used to be, but I'm going through a little renaissance, a little Indian summer, if you will, with my karambit love. And you know what did it? It's this TKL knives. I'm like, yeah, well, you can make good ring things. I had a spate of bad ring things, and anyway, I'm back, baby. Will B says, I don't love the karambit as an outdoor knife, but I love my Tiger Claw and my Civivi Incisor 2 for general carry. That's a cool one. The Incisor 2. The Tiger Claw is the folding karambit from Cold Steel, which I am embarrassed to say I do not have. But that Civivi is, oh, it's awesome. So cool looking. Classy assassin knife for sure. Something you might see in John Wick. Ket McNessert says, I figured you'd buy a large Northern Hunter. Yes. I think that would be it. Yep. That's the one that did you loan that to me, Ketmuck? Now I'm trying to remember. Someone loaned me that. I'm pretty sure it was you, or was it Hero? Anyway, someone let me know. Yeah, I love that thing. Very cool knife. That was you, wasn't it? Sorry if I'm just having a senior moment. Brady Fisher says, I've been lusting over the Counterattack 1 lately. Now, which one is the Counterattack? I have it. I just don't remember what it is. The Counterattack. Is that the one with the double rings? Is that the double rings? Hard to say. Jock's, just let me know which one the Counterattack is now. I know I have. Oh, is that the? Well, just let me know. Jock's Knife says, I really enjoy my little Bastinelli Pica Karambit. Fun more than anything. Yeah. And yes, exactly. The Pika is cool, and the Anomaly is cool, but sometimes they can get a little too thin if you don't have the wrap around them. It was me, says Ketmuk. You ingrate, he's saying. No, thank you, Ketmuk. That it did leave an impression. It was just I think the early days of knowing you, and you know, thank you. Sharp and Savvy says Tiger Claw, great bad guy knife. Oh yeah, no doubt. Nomadic Adventure says the amount of time and training to be effective is not really worth it unless on someone else's time and dime. My opinion, not fact. I do remember, I have to say, let's call it 8 years ago, a news piece that got some coverage and some special videos on YouTube of a guy who was attacked by some frat guys, and he sliced them up using the Fox 599 karambit, and didn't have the training, but just kind of used it, and did not. I don't think he killed his assailants, but they were frat dudes, and what I mean by that is I think they sued the crap out of him, and I don't know if he went to jail, but he defended himself with that, with a little karambit blade, and I think he did some pretty nasty damage without any training. Blade Ogre says, I love my LT Wright Northern Hunter in AEBL. Love AEBL. Also, the Bandit and Jessmook are great along with the Genesis, which is LT's flagship knife. Okay, I'm going to have to check that out. The Jessmook, I remember that. That's obviously a Prepared Mind 101. That's a Chris Tanner design. Anything with Jessica or Jess, I think that's his word that he uses as ideal, like a Jessica knife is an ideal knife. He must have had a wicked crush on someone named Jessica. Dion Page says Double Agent has 2 rings. Okay, so damn it. Thank you. What's the Counterattack? Counterattack, is that a push dagger? The Top's dart has a nice recurve, which would be great for chopping. It's reminiscent of a kukri. That's right. That That's a nice knife. I always remember kind of really liking that. It's got the nice recurve, but it's got the point somewhat center line. Yatagan-esque, perhaps. Will B says, I just like saying Yatagan. Will B says, for outdoor knives, I have a Work Tough Gear Wilderness Warrior 2 and my Topps Dart. Wilderness Warrior. I'm wondering which one that is. Oh, no, too many knives on the desk. This is my Work Tough Gear. I'm betting this, you could do a lot of stuff with it in the out of doors. But it's a little unpractical because it's so damn big, unless you're just like batoning or splitting wood. Rob's Nerdy Knives, good to see you here, sir. Good evening from Texas. Hope all is well. Well, thank you, sir. Thank you for the greeting from one of the greatest states in the union. And well, this is kind of big in Texas, like this Puzon Predator Hunter Bowie. I love this thing. But I just noticed that the large Puzon Bowie with the regular swedge and the more swept swedge and the more traditional Bowie shape is on a couple of websites. And do I do it? Do I do it? You know, do I get another giant Bowie that I'm not going to use? Well, of course I do. I just don't know if I can swing that right now. Plus, I have some more kind of custom-y things I'd like to do. So I might have to focus on that. Nomadic Adventure says, looks like a fat machete. Kind of is. It kind of is. But you know, it's based on the knife they all had in Predator. The one that Billy goes and fights the Predator with. It is big and heavy, so this definitely something. If you get it, I recommend you eat your Wheaties and do your exercises because it's got a fat blade or a fat handle, and it's a heavy knife, but so cool. I love this thing. Work Tough Gear, love it. I've experienced a number of them. Well, I experienced everything at their table at Blade Show. This one, and then the two that Scab sent me, that big Sax and the Ruination or whatever they're called. I can't remember the names of these knives, but really nice, really nicely made fixed blade knives. I gotta say, like this fixed blade knife, it's not a phase. That's not the term. But I was so heavily into folders for years and have kind of come back to my first love in fixed blades in a heavy way. And I just want, you know, I have an appetite for these things, especially knives like this that are self-defense in nature. This is the Fire Ant triple-edged Warncliffe from Dirk Pinkerton, the hands of Dirk Pinkerton. He's an amazing designer, yes, but also an incredible knife maker and grinder of blades. So this is his a utility knife, you know, EDC knife, but this one he triple edged and really made an aggressive sort of EDC small fixed blade. Wheaties have GMO. Now stay away from Wheaties. Yeah, you're right. Oh, Dion, why'd you have to remind me? Descentient 01, good to see you here, sir. Bob, you need a Bravo Taupe Recon. Yes, I think you're right. Oh, and a Crusader. I'm not sure which one the Crusader is, but that Taupe Recon is pretty sweet. Bob, I missed the pocket check. Emerson TFK-1 finally arrived. Oh, that's the Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy knife -1. That's cool. A nice clip point Emerson. Finally arrived today. You talked about this one months ago. Yes, I did. And I didn't buy it. And you acted, and now you are benefiting from being a man of action, whereas I just said I was going to get it and didn't, and now I'm sitting here without one. Let that be a lesson. Money grows on trees. I wish it did, or I'd have one. Rob's Nerdy Knives says, that's a nice fifth pocket knife for pinning cherries or olives, right? Yeah, that's right. And then picking your teeth when you're done. Uh, this one actually is great. This one's an all around great knife. I'm a fan of his sheaths too, though he never puts a clip on them. That's fine. That's fine. Put my own on here. Cheeto Bandito, good to see you here, sir. What's up, everybody? I'm very late. It's quite all right. We're just waxing poetic about fixed blades and outdoor blade shapes. It's funny because some consider this an outdoor blade shape, and we'll show this. Todd Carr says, if you get a Canadian belt knife, Groman Knives in Canada is the original maker of the original versions in various sizes. Was designed by Groman and D.H. Russell in 1957. Okay, I remember reading that. I remember that, and remembering it now again. Now that you've reminded me about what I read, that is cool. A Groman. I think that would be cool to get just for the authenticity of it. You might call this an outdoor shape. This is a hog hunting knife. This is called the sow catcher, which is a slightly unappealing name because, yes, you're killing the creature. But when I think of sow, I think of little babies too. So I'd rather this be like the hog hunter or the boar slayer or something like that. But in any, maybe not the boar slayer. Just given what's going on in the world, we would just call this the pig hunter or what have you. Pig sticker would work. But obviously, it's not something that you do other outdoor chores besides dispatching game. So does it count? Dion says, I've been watching Donovan 2 and all the killer Wyatt Haynes blades he has. Oh, I don't know this. Do you have any King Knife Junkie? No, I don't. Wait, who is Donovan 2 and all the killer Wyatt Haynes blades? Hang on. Wyatt Haynes. I gotta write this on the computer so I can check this out. No, I don't. I don't have any. Should I? I will. I'm not sure what Wyatt Haynes is like, but I'd like to check them out. And I think I know who you're talking about in terms of that person. Is it an older gentleman, kind of distinguished country gentleman with an amazing knife collection? Do tell. I think it might be. So as Jim floated that up, if you're interested in checking out any Knife Junkie kind of related merchandise, you can go to TheKnifeJunkie.com and /shop and check out all the cool designs that Jim's been working on. He does a lot of cool stuff. Rob's Nerdy Knives says, I was carrying my Microtech Orange G10 MSI with the ram lock, disassembled it, cleaned it, and oil seed to give ridiculous good action. Oil seed? What's that? Oil seed. Is it like linseed oil or some sort of natural natural oil, or was that a typo? But so this knife, I can't tell if I like it or not. I know I like the ram lock. I like the stitch better, but I used to drool over the stitch, but there was always something that bothered me about it. And I figured out what it is. It's that blade to handle ratio on the stitch. It doesn't have to be like that. I don't think. I think you could get a little bit more blade from that length of handle, but maybe it's just the shape of the blade and having that full choil and all that. But in any case, the other one, the MSI, is that what it is? MSI. I like it because it's new and exciting, but I'm not sure if I like the way it looks. And I know you're saying, well, it's not all about looks, Bob, you shallow SOB. And to that, I say, you're probably right. But if you don't really use your knives very hard, which I don't, and if I do, it's not a Microtech, even though they could take it, then that's where you're left. Kevin Moore says, my Karambit is a BNB knife, and it's pretty sweet. Is a BNB knife, brand new in box knife? What is that? No, that's BNIB. My Karambit is a BNB knife, and it's pretty sweet. I'm not sure what that means. Let me know. Dion Page says, Donovan is from Mississippi, around our age, and I can't find out much about Wyatt other than he makes killer blades. I want the Persian and the Gladius and 3 of his Bowies. Yes, I want them all too. Sight unseen. Nomadic Adventure says, smash that like button. Fellowship of Junkies. I like that. Fellowship of Junkies. Please smash that like button. Or if it pleases you, use your blade. I'm sure the computer can take it. It's just plastic. Will B says the choil on the stitch is a bit off-putting. Still feels great in hand though. Yeah, and it is a undeniably cool knife. But yeah, I agree with you. Too much choil. Give me more blade. Oh, Buck and Bear. Okay. Buck and Bear. Because they do OEM stuff. I believe that's what he's saying. So outdoor knife? Yeah. Yes, I say yes. So therefore, this is probably my favorite outdoor shape. But if we're actually talking outdoor, I would say Bowie. For me, it would have to be Bowie, like this. Now, would I be using this too much in the outdoors? Probably not. I mean, I could. It's a very well made Bark River Knives. What is this? V44 Bowie with a rat tail tang or a stick tang in here. Maybe that's your one faltering spot. Like, I don't know. I'm sure you could baton with this all day long and not worry about it. But um, this might be more of a brush knife and fighting knife. Chase Kimball, good to have you here, Chase. Just ordered a Hogtooth Ruffian. Thanks to you, Bob. So that's going to be my outdoor knife once I get it. That is great news, man. I wonder what colors you got there. He's the best. He just crashed his motorcycle, or well, I don't know if I should. Anyway, he hurt his leg, and so I don't know. Doesn't affect his knife making apparently. But here's a little preview of the Ruffian. Oh, such a nice knife. Acid stone washed, 154 cm. That nice hollow grind, nice and thin, super sharp. These things are wickedly sharp. And I do know that this knife and the Tonto, haven't done this with the Nova 1 actually, make really good fire sticks, those feather sticks and stuff. I have every reason to believe the Nova 1 does as well, but I just haven't thought to do that yet. Yep. Just thought I'd show you a little preview of what's to come. It's a great knife. Enjoy it in good health. Yeah, but I think that this one right here is probably the closest to what I would consider my favorite outdoor shape. Chase says, I am not very creative and love the blue liners with the Coyote 10. So that's what I ordered. That's pretty good, man. Wow, that's a compliment. That one was I ordered that when I was at his shop around my birthday 2 years ago with my mom and dad and my daughters. My wife had to stay home. But right while I was there, I was like, oh, he had a couple of them that he was working on, and some of the blade blanks. So I got to look through his liners, and I got to look through his micarta. I love it. I love that tan. It looks kind of antiqued. Rob's Nerdy Knives says, so the ram lock button is cool because I can use it via one finger, unlike most Axis and Able crossbar locks. It looks like they're OTF buttons and works like it. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I have noticed that it looks different, and I guess kind of questioned in a glancing way whether you could use one thumb. I always do, actually, because to me that's the sign of a really well made crossbar lock, or well calibrated, two well calibrated springs, or whatever it is. If you can do it with one thumb without there being some sort of my SOG terminus, an early SOG XR lock does that. It's like if you just try and close it with your thumb, it will become uneven in the track, and gets all jacked up. If I get a Ruffian, I'm going to ask him to put a thumb ramp on it. A thumb ramp. Yeah. This is pretty comfortable for your thumb. It kind of acts like a ramp, that sort of harpoon and that jimping's pretty good. I'm trying to imagine what, something like that would come up here. That'd be cool to see. Oh man, so many options, so many knives. Yeah, well, you're about to get your Nova 1, or soon, end of the month, I guess you're going to be getting your Nova. I say I guess because that's the last I heard. Hopefully, we're still on track. I haven't talked to him this week, but you will have a hog tooth in hand, and you can ascertain from there how good his other knives are. Brady Fisher says, I would pick a Bowie too, but I understand that drop points drill better than clip points. Oh, that's interesting. Love clip points for EDC and reflecting light. Yes, very nice. Yes, you like to see the light dance upon the grinds. Yes, I'm like that too. I see what you mean about drilling. I guess this one is relatively in the center. That blade or that point is relatively centered, but this handle is definitely oval in cross section, and this would be murder to drill with. Maybe not murder, but it would be difficult to drill with. Great knife, man. This thing looks. I'm just looking at it in the screen. It looks so cool. I love this knife. All right. Oh my God. I got too much stuff around here. So what's going on with y'all? Let me know what's new with you in terms of new knives and new stuff you have close at hand. I had a good time watching Jared Neves's recent video about Sen cuts and Civivis, and it made me think of this knife. Wilby says, I know getting the Nova 1 is just going to make me want to order another hogtooth knife. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. They're very appealing. This I know is not a Sen cut, and it's not a Civivi, it's a Kaiser, but to me, that is the knife with the really, really great button lock action. Now, I'm at a deficit of button lock knives. I recently gave two of my very favorite button locks away. The Pyrite I gave to a friend, and the XL Begletter I gave to my brother. Both of those had exquisite button lock action, as does this. This is the Mad Tanto from Kaiser. I love that the button sits proud, a little bit proud. You don't have to go digging around. So this was my emotional support knife today, the Watuga or the Watuwaga by Sencut, and it is I gotta say, I just don't enjoy it for the fidget as much as I do the Kaiser. That button, you really got to dig in there for me. And then there's always a little bit of lock stick. Listen, you can hear the first click. Listen, I'll do it before so it won't bang. You hear that? Every time. And I know some people like lock stick because it's reassuring, that lock is really engaged. And I can see that. But this one, the combination of the lock stick, the concave button surface. So not only is it set low, but also it's concave. So you really have to dig your finger in there, and then it sticks. And so first world problems. I'm just sitting here complaining about this awesome knife. But it did really make me feel like Kaiser did it better in this case. Now, I'm not sure if Sencut and Civivi over the past year, because this was a release last year, I'm not sure how much they've dialed it in. I know they had a lot of knives come out with the button lock, so I'm sure it's dialed in much better than this earlier Watuga. Kyle, how's it going, sir? Hey, y'all weirdos. Hope everyone is doing well. It's great to have you here, a weirdo amongst fellow weirdos. Blade Ogre bought a Victorinox bird's beak paring knife this week and thinking about trying to make a pical like you did. Oh, please do. That's cool. Those things are sweet. If you have a heat gun, use the heat gun. You can put it in the oven. You just have to really watch. And then when when you bend the handle, if you decide to bend the handle, hold on to put some gloves on, because you got to hold on to it, because if you don't, that kind of plastic springs back into place. So you kind of have to hold it as it cools, and then you'll have a nice curved blade you can wrap with jute or tape or whatever you want to do. Will B says, I'm waiting on a set of oil slick zirconium scales and backspacer for my Spyderco Shaman from Meetin Boss, and a Sharp by Design Evo Typhoon that I bought off Tri-State. Isn't that exciting when you have a bunch of stuff coming in, and like, especially stuff you've been waiting for? For me, it was this. I've been waiting for this for so long, and I finally bought it. I don't know why I do that sometimes. Like, I'll be frivolous 5 times, or I'll be frivolous 4 times, and I could have been frivolous 1 time and had something that I actually wanted, instead of like some rando Civivi that I'm like, oh, I just saw a great video on this, which I've been known to do from time to time. Rob's Nerdy Knife says, I'm waiting for Griffin Company Scout F3. That is a cool one. That's one that I was exposed to by Stasa. I received a Civivi Cubit and a new CJRB large pyrite in black G10. I need to get that large pyrite, but you know what I'm doing? I'm holding out for the Warncliffe, because just like with the small one, they'll wait a little while, and then they'll release the new blade shape. So I'm going to wait for that one. Blade Ogre says, nice. We'll try with a heat gun. Yep. I've noticed with a heat gun, you just gotta hold the blade. So you want to wrap that thing with tape, and then hold it against a concrete floor if you can, and just kind of exert pressure and just hold it with the gun and put something in your headphones and zone out. It takes a while. David Helka, good to have you here, David. I put some quick studs on my Kaiser Mad Tanto so I can flick it. Made a good knife even better. He's talking about these things here. I have one on my Buck 112 here. It's a quick stud. You just put it on. It straddles the blade, and then you use a Allen wrench, goes in there and tightens down. So you can. That's a great idea. I think I'll try that. Not right here under the camera, but I'm going to try that, because they also make them in black, and I'm sure that might be what you're talking about, that yours is black. Rob says the Civivi Cubit is as smooth as the Wii Mini Malice. Ooh, very nice. So that Mini Malice is that was a Ferrum Forge, right? Chase Kimball says, I also have a Tops LP arrow with the sharpened Tops wedge coming tomorrow, and I am very excited about that. Is awesome. So Chase, are you the one who told me that you can just have it done for $5? Just tell them you want it sharpened and they'll do it for $5. That's pretty cool, because that's this $5 for doing this, because it's such a small run, but it's already so thin that's going to be great, man. Congratulations. Maybe that's not something to congratulate, but good purchase. Will B says, yeah, I do too. I keep putting off buying that Knight's Element Kukri. You'll be happy you did when you do. And I know I'll love it. And I buy other stuff that I don't know if I'll like. Yeah. Or it's just like, it's so silly, like to say 4 times in a month, oh, it's only $40, because you take that and put that together, and you got $160. Wait, what did I say? 20? No, 40. Yeah. So, right? What did I say? 40? Yeah, $160 that you could get something nicer. You wait another month, you get something even nicer or more expensive. 5 Door says, news this week: the Emerson Spyderco seconds military tomorrow. Really? The Coonley sharpened 2. Wait, see. The Emerson Spyderco seconds military tomorrow. What's the Emerson? What Emerson? Which one? Which one, man? Oh God. Okay, so if the Military 2 comes out tomorrow, that means, I put my $5 into Blade HQ. That means I'm buying a Military 2 finally, after complaining and wistfully dreaming for years about a military where you could put the clip on the other side. I'm very excited. But of course, to have it with the compression lock, I'm really excited. Because with that big blade, the compression lock is so much fun, like on the Yo Jumbo. Click, clack, click, clack. Brady Fisher says, how would a fruit knife that was modified like that hold up in court, I wonder? Love the creativity and the spirit of the mod, though. Oh, I don't think it would. I don't think it would any more than anything else. I mean, uh, it would, if you just have it on you and it's totally unmodified, probably looks better. Like, oh, I just bought this. I was bringing it home to give to my mother, or bringing it home, to add into the kitchen. And, but yeah, if you took all the time to make it look like something like this, I don't have, mine are far afield. But if you do all this with the jute wrap, like I like to do, yeah, it's obvious that you intended it to be some sort of a thing that wasn't going to lose grip even when wet or slimy or sweaty. The Emerson. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Right, of course. The Emerson is the TFK1. The Military is the factory second. Oh, Military factory second. Okay, gotcha. Todd Carr says, yeah, I'm just not getting it. Todd Carr says, those little quick studs are great. Make sure you put a drop of Loctite on, though. I lost one that came loose on one of my knives. Oh, yeah, okay. That's word to the wise. Loctite is helpful. Anyone else have issues with their Reich made SOCOM Bravo 2s? Like, I need to put extra Loctite in that pivot. It's always backing itself out. Gareth HB, good to have you here, Gareth. Morning, all, he says. Well, good morning to you, sir. Where are you? Where it's I guess well, I'm on the East Coast, so it's not morning here yet. So you must be east of me. Anyway, good morning to you, man. Good to have you with us. Hey, I just got this today. I was at REI getting my daughter a water bottle, and I saw this, and now I can't find my damn Zippo without. I have a couple of them in storage, but I have one that's out and about. And this is just, for lighting cigars or whatever. You get that jet flame. But I've always lamented the fact that I hardly ever use my Zippos, and I have them, and I just don't smoke cigarettes. I used to a long time ago. But anyway, so I'm very excited to have one of these. Now I got to find the damn Zippo to put it in. Kyle says, little quick stud used to be. Okay, Little Quick Stud used to be a nickname till I found Insert Blue Chew ad promo. Insert Blue Chew ad promo. I don't know what that means, but you were a quick little stud. That was your nickname. Love it. Patina Turner, do you have a how-to on how to use those hemp wraps? How to do the? I don't, but maybe I should. I wanted people to think that they were ancient, like they came off of some ancient battlefield. No, I can do a video of that, but let me describe it right now. Oh, South Africa. Great to have you here, Gareth, from South Africa. That's awesome. My parents went there a long time ago and loved it. Actually, they went not too long ago again, and went to a bunch of preserves, animal preserves, or nature preserves. Anyway, so with this, what I do is I just get cheap jute rope. It's like loose kind of brown rope, and wrap it real tight, tie it off, and then I like to put amber shellac on the to sort of impregnate this so it doesn't move around with shellac. I like the amber kind of shellac. I just like the color. And then I light it on fire and let it burn a little bit. You can see how it's a little singed in certain areas. And that, yeah, That's all I do, and I let it sit and I let it dry for a little while. But yeah, I guess I should do a little tutorial on it. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun to do like on my Wingard wearables quill. I did this not too long ago, and it really took it to the next level. No, I'm just kidding. But I really like carrying this thing a lot more. First of all, the little bit more friction with this keeps it stabilized in my pocket, so it's not moving around too much. But really, what I like is the added girth, so that when I'm in this sort of grip with this thing, like this, or in that hammer fist, or what have you, it's not moving around. It's tightly um, molded into my hand. But also, it just looks cool, and especially on this, it makes it look like an ancient hook, doesn't it? Like a fishing hook from days gone by, from some forgotten culture. Yeah. So tutorial. Yeah. Noted. Patina says, right on. Thanks, Bob. I always like the lion and want to try it on some stuff. Yeah. I like the way some knife makers are using it. You see jute wrap. Let's see, JB Knife and Tool does it sometimes. Corvus does it. A lot of different people use that sort of wrap, and it's very appealing to me. It keeps it thin. It's very grippy, and it's organic. And we know that I like organic materials, unlike some people who happen to be watching tonight. I really do like organic materials like wood and bone and natural like jute stuff. So, um, yeah, some of these swords back here are wrapped in different kinds of reeds and stuff, and then they have something that they would put on it to keep it from popping off. um, yeah, I love that. Love that. Todd Carr says definitely definitely gives it a great look. The shellac makes it slippery at all? No, it does not. Not at all. And then the burning, I burn before I add the shellac. I run a lighter over it a lot just to burn all the loose fibers, and it also gives it a toasty kind of color. And then I put the shellac on, and then as it's semi dry, I don't light it on fire right away. I wait till it's kind of tacky and almost dry, and then you can get it to light. And what it does is it kind of finishes it drying, and then the spots where it's a little wet and there's a little extra, that's where it gets kind of black. I used to use shellac a lot. If any of you like to draw or paint, um, with acrylics, I don't think you can really use shellac with oil paint, but it adds a cool color. If you want things to look old, shellac is a cool thing. Or I used to make drawings on backgrounds that would light shellac on fire. It looks really cool when you do it on nice paper. So yeah, shellac, good old fashioned shellac. You can be very expressive with shellac, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, do check it out. Let's take a quick look at Knife Life news. There are 3 cool new Civivis being released, and I like the look of them. What can I say? Let's see. Let's get this one up here. Let's see. There we go. So Civivi, as I was mentioning, I'm a big fan, but they have the Elementum, which I always kind of joke, oh, the Elementum is Civivi's Burnley Quaken. They'll just come out with it in a million different ways, But I think they still have Civivi built, but I'm really happy that Civivi's coming out with it now with this gorgeous Wharncliffe blade, because we know that the Elementum has a really nice thin hollow ground blade, and it's a beautiful spear point. But this Wharncliffe takes the cake, I gotta say. I mean, this is gonna make a very, very useful and charming EDC knife, and make it even better. And I love the wedge, by the way. So, bully, nicely done, Civivi. Oh, geez, I'm seeing how I misspelled Civivi. I didn't see it when I sent it to you, Jim. So let's go down from the Warney Elementum. Oh, that's a 2-point 3.97, so just a hair less than 3 inches. Now this one, wow, I love that blade. That thing is cool. Uh, it is a very aggressive center tip Warncliffe that's nearly 4 inches long. So that's a 3.98-inch 14C28 end blade. Gonna come in burlap, micarta, or G10. And gosh, what do you think of that blade shape? I mean, that is one aggressive Tonto. You know what it reminds me of? No? Well, I'll tell you. It reminds me of the Cold Steel Immortal, the Immortal, which sort of masquerades as a um, ancient style gladius, but really, if you look at it, is like a drop point Tonto, and that's what this is. It's not symmetrical, but it's got that close to symmetry kind of thing. A very obvious center line. As a matter of fact, there's a line going all the way down the blade from the pivot to the tip. You can see how centered that tip really is, giving you great access to the tip for utility tasks, but also gives you great use of that forward wedge shape. All flat ground are those cutting bevels, which is, I got to say, the one disappointing aspect of this, though I'm sure it's awesome. I'm sure it's thin and cutty as hell being a Civivi, but also knowing Civivi, they could do a bang up job with a hollow grind, and that would look and function really awesomely on this one. So the Baltair I'm going with. I really like this thing. Cool looking Civivi. Plus, I love the 4 inches and big. All right, and then the last one down below is the now this one is sort of the liner lock brother to the what was it called, the Cetos, all these names. Let's see, this is the yeah, variation on the Cetos. This is the Caetus, Caetus. I don't know how to pronounce A-E. Like, I think that's Latin, a Caetus. But anyway, a very handsome design. I love the look of that blade. That bayonet grind is really appealing to me. And then you have that fuller on the flat. It looks like a military knife. It's evocative of a military knife. This one's in 14C28N and about 4 ounces. Or I mean, this is a 3.19. The other one is 4 ounces. So a nice 3.4-inch blade and liner lock. I think it's fetching. I think it's a cool looking blade. The other one, the Cetos, is a steel frame lock. I think all things considered, I would dig on the liner lock better. I do have a Civivi steel lock. It's pretty good. It's okay. All right, let's go to the next one. This is a new outdoor fixie from Victorinox. And man, come on. I'll give you some help with the design. I'm sure it's a great knife. Victorinox makes killer Swiss Army knives, killer multi-tool style knives, and great kitchen knives that you can use as undercover, killing knives. But this thing, man, I'm sure it's very useful. I'm sure it is, but it's so ugly. Am I right? I mean, am I wrong? I guess I should say. I know I'm not, but this is their outdoor knife, and it does have all things aside. Obviously, it has a very comfortable looking handle. It has a very oh, universally useful spear point or drop point 14C28 and blade, a great blade steel for the purpose of outdoor, general outdoor use. It's a 4.13 inch blade, and it's got a full tang, which is nice. But and that TPE, that handle material is cast all the way around the full tang, so it's not going to come off. It's kind of cool that there's a hole in the middle. You can do different kinds of lashing with it, but I just gotta say, I just think this thing is dogly. Comes with a sheath that's kind of interesting. In Actually, it's not interesting. It comes with a sheath. I'm just not impressed with this. I'm sure it's a good knife, and that's all that matters. It's a tool. It's a tool knife. It's not a looker. It's not a fighter. It doesn't have any of the things that I like, except the raw materials. So I don't know. I don't know. I saw this. It left me cold. Left me cold. But I know that we have a lot of Victorinox fans here. So what do you guys think? Obviously, um, I'm being a little shallow about it. It's a knife for outdoor purposes. Looks like it might handle that just perfectly. But shouldn't it have a little bit of charm? Like this knife here has a lot of the same things. Has a flat ground blade, full flat ground blade. It has a spear point blade. Hag 90, good to see you here, sir. He says hi to all. Jeremy Nedro, great to see you. I really dig the Warncliffe. I do too, man. I love the Warncliffe. This one has what that other knife has, except it has also charm and good looks, and and we might not be born with either, but we can do things to clean ourselves up and to make ourselves more appealing, and that's the same with this knife. That's the same, not with this knife. That's the same with the Victorinox knife. It's like it was almost like we're afraid, so let's just make it ugly from the start. We're afraid we won't make it as pretty as it should be, so let's just make it ugly. Jeremy says, I don't really like any of the Victorinox new designs. uh, I do like the big lockback folder. I think that looks pretty cool. The one that they use, that Matt Damon uses in The Martian. That's a big 4.25-inch blade, I think, in an aluminum handle. That's very appealing to me for some reason. But other than that, like I say, stick to the Swiss Army knife style. Hag 90 says Victorinox, nothing flashy, functional, straight to the point. Yeah. Yep. 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 It's a tool, says things that inspire me. Things that inspire me, first of all, hello. And I would agree with you. I know. I said I admit up front, I am I do rely heavily on looks when it comes to knives. It is ugly, says Gareth. Thank you, sir. Thank you. uh yeah, yeah. So I mean, let's see. Here's a great example. Oh man, I got knives falling all over the place. Here's a great example of a knife I used all last weekend. It was my first weekend after 3 very rainy weekends that I could get out and get out in the backyard. So I brought this. This is the Boon 2 from Bark River Knives. Now you say, yeah, you could buy like 6 of those Victorinox knives for that one Boon 2, and you are right about that. But you can get something like this, less expensive, that has the old world charm and usefulness of a great old knife that you might just want to hand down. Like a Marbles. You don't have to spend Bark River Knives money to get a knife like this. Um, it works great, looks good, and it's like architecture these days, and how ugly it is, and how brutalist it is, and how it's like it's created to belittle you. Look at you. You're nothing. You're this tiny little thing with this giant looming horrible shape above you. I don't believe design, like, you can make beautiful buildings that also serve the purpose of being buildings, just like you can build beautiful functional tool like fixed blades without having them look like that Victorinox. That just kind of sucks the spirit out of you. Can you go back to Will B's comment? Sorry, I was waxing. I don't think there are any Victorinox knives that appeal to me. Well, there you go. And then let's see. Rob's Nerdy Knives was saying, what do you call the blade where it looks like a pseudo tanto with the second tip, but a curve that is pronounced where the corner of the tanto should be, has a bit of a drop to it that is a swedge. All right, I'm thinking. Okay, let me read this again. What do you call? Oh, like a sponto, like the I think it might be okay. What do you call the blade shape where it's like a pseudo tanto without the second tip, but a curve? Okay, so far I'm seeing a sponto, spear tanto. That's where sponto comes from, and I think that was coined by Rick Hinderer. That is pronounced where the corner of the tanto should be, and it has a bit of a drop to it that is a swedge. You are perfectly describing the tanto or sponto blade shape. You can see it in a few other knives, but it was really made famous by the XM, the Pena X series. Al Koran has this blade shape. Okay, I'm pretty sure I know which one that is. It's a sponto, and it was first. So it's a spear point mixed with a tanto. So you're getting the curve of the spear point, both in the drop part and the belly, but you're not getting the angular tip. But you still have the dual grinds, the flat grind here. It doesn't have to be flat grind. Like if you get it from, hollow ground. If you get it from Hinderer, it will be flat ground. I had mine hollow ground, so you have the flat grind up front and the hollow grind on the long. Damn it, it's right over there. I should have brought it out. But that's what I think you're talking about. And the Pena, I think I know. I think that's what that is too. I think you might call it the same thing. Todd Carr says, or if you don't want to take, sorry to belabor this point, but if you don't want to take on the Sponto name because Rick Hinderer might sue you, you could call it a compound ground drop point because you got the drop point, but then you have the compound grind making the flat point that's the flat tip that's kind of like the tanto minus the tip, the secondary tip, and then you have the long straight that's hollow ground, so kind of a compound ground drop point. Todd Carr says Reich Jaeger, Mora Garberg, Real Steel Bushcraft 2 off-grid knives, other knives in 14C28N that are solid alternatives. Agreed. To even include a Mora, that you can get for like a song. Jeremy Nedrow says 14C28N is a great user steel. Yeah, and it was the original like Scandi Bushcraft steel. Loyal Group says the Boon 2, unlike the Buck or Marbles, is available in 3V. Yes, sir, it is. Have a knife day. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. What I had lasered into the cold steel kukri is the word kindness. I'm also waiting for the off-grid Cayman XXL fixed. I cannot wait for that. That is beautiful. Okay, so I am going to salute you with the specialist knife, the most special knife I have on the table, and I dare say one of the most special in the collection. And that is my Hogtooth Knives custom Loveless Subhilt Fighter. Thank you. Have a nice day. I really appreciate that little, not little, but that super chat so close to the end of the show. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. Here is more Hogtooth Knives. This is the other extreme. You've seen a lot of me showing off the 154 CM. Those are kind of bread and butter knives, the kind that can make a little bit quicker. And then he does a lot of this kind of stuff. Just beautiful Damascus blades and different handles. This he had never done before. So this was definitely a learning experience from him. Great knife. And this is the knife, if I'm ever called out into a duel, that I accept and I have to save the family honor or what have you. This is what I will be dueling with, presuming that we are both using knives. So have a knife day. Thank you, sir. This is for you. All right. Thank you. And here's your drive-by or fly-by. Swim-by. It's a shark. Lots of sharks out there this summer, people. Be careful. Excuse me. Well, let's start about wrapping up. I want to see what people are saying. Hag 90 SE6, not due to popularity, but rather the design is correct for what I'm looking for. Enough length to swing, short enough to work safely, flat grind, hard steel, broad blade, slight drop point. Hag knows what he wants, and it's in the SE6. I've seen that SE6 with a sharpened swedge ground into it, and I think that was just a special at the Build an SE6 shop at one of the online purveyors. Rob's Nerdy Knife says, thank you. Perfect. The Sponto or compound ground drop point is my favorite shape. It is a beautiful, beautiful knife to look at. And then you really get the benefit of having a thin, slicey blade with that robust tip. Yeah, that's a great one. King Snake Jake, hello, Mr. DeMarco. Howdy all. Hope all is well. King Snake, thanks for joining us, sir. And it's great to have you with us. Top notch salute, says Dion Page, a top notch guy, leaving me a super chat. I appreciate it. As you are as well, Dion, top notch. That's the kind of people we have here. Yes, this right here, that was awesome. We have these kind of folk coming. All right, so be sure to join us on Sunday. We will have Stickman from his name is Keith Beam, but he goes by Stickman, nickname given to him by his son when he first started working at Cold Steel and started throwing knives. And he's a very interesting guy. Comes from the archery world, an adjacent world to the knife world. And that's not. Oh, I'm sorry. That's in 2 Sundays. I'm sorry. Sorry. This Sunday is Michael Martin of American Blade Works. That's right. Michael Martin, awesome guy. We talk a lot about the Model 2, and we talk a lot about the updates of the Model 1 and everything. He's a great guy. You know him. He's a friend of the show and making these beautiful handmade knives, handmade machine-made knives right here in the United States of America, in North Carolina. So excited to have Michael on the show. And Loyal Group super sticker, $5. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. And all right, Loyal Group. This is your salute, sir. I'm going to salute you with this classic. This is the Randall Made Knives number 2-7 fighting stiletto. One of the scientifically determined to be one of the most appealing knife designs of all time. Scientifically, that's science-y. This happens to be, I think, the greatest iteration of this. This is how I would order this knife if I were to order this knife. But lo and behold, Knife Center frequently has little batches of Randall knives come in, and this was I was just lucky and snagged this when I did. But I've always loved this knife. Loyal Group, this one is for you. Thank you, sir. There you go with your swim by. Oh, look at that. Just beautiful. Just beautiful. Hollow ground, bellied. You can swipe. You can do this like you're conducting an orchestra. Just a great knife. Thank you, guys. Thank you, one and all. It was great having you here with me tonight. And glad to see that. Have a knife day. I'd love to see that kukri, by the way. I'm sure you have a video of it up. Oh, Javon. Oh, my gosh. What's going on? Thanks, Bob. Been lurking and listening. Well, thank you, sir. Wow, that's awesome. Right here. Okay. All right. What am I going to salute you with? Ooh. Oh, here. I know. All right. So tonight, Javon, this one's for you, sir. I like that you go by Javon now. So it almost sounds like Giovanni, like you're Italian. So this is the Tops knives. Let me put this under here. This is the Zabo Express. I love this knife, the Zabo Express. Unlike many of the self-defense knives from Tops Knives, this one is in 1095 and then coated. Oftentimes they'll use, 154 cm. But this is kind of on the border between medium-sized fixed blade and smaller, so I think that's why they got away with the 1095. It's not gonna, chances are it's not gonna be right up next to your skin. When I first got this, I thought dagger with an asymmetrical handle, and then I flipped it upside down, and then all things are revealed when you turn a knife upside down. It's like you can see the design better. And I saw, oh yeah, these two bevels are so different. And so yeah, this is a fighter, not a dagger. And this is how we wrap tonight's show. This gorgeous knife. And Javon's generosity. Thank you, sir. This one's for you. I greatly appreciate it. And it's been lovely having you lurking. One of my favorite words in the English language. Lurk. All right, there's your swim by. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, be sure to join us on Sunday for Michael Martin. And then, of course, Wednesday for the midweek supplemental. And then next Thursday, right here. And I will be telling you what the Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway knife will be for this month. I'm still not sure. So, man, I'm very, second, there was 2 super chats from Have a Knife Day. Thank you. That's why Jim put it up there twice. Thank you so much. Have a Knife Day. I appreciate that. This is for you. I know you love Bowies, so there you go, man. Thank you. I didn't realize that was 2. I really appreciate that. Yeah. All right. Become a patron. Scan the QR code. Go to theknifejunkie.com/Patreon and thank Jim. Jim, he's working the magic behind the switcher. Always does, and I greatly appreciate it. For him, I will say I'm Bob DeMarco, and until next time, don't take dull for an answer.